Hello, my name is Matthew Thomas, and today I'm doing a tutorial on how to build a tabletop out of pallet wood from one pallet. Alright, first thing you will need is a large flat surface that is clean, which we have here. Next you will need all of the thin 1/4 inch wood from a single pallet. The 5-inch wide pieces will be used as the tabletop. The narrow 3.5-inch pieces will be used as the support boards for underneath the table. The materials that you will need, the tools and materials that you will need today are first your safety, which are your earplugs, your goggles, your gloves. Your tools will be a small file, a carpenter's triangle, a straight edge, a tape measure, a power drill, something to write with, a 1/8 of an inch drill bit, a Phillips screw tip, and a power saw, 2 long clamps, 1-inch wood screws, and these are your materials and tools. To start, lay the 5/4 inch by 5 inch pieces of pallet boards in such a way that the tabletop will be revealed underneath. This will be the top of the table. This is the underneath where I'll be working. Tap all the end pieces so that the ends line up in a straight edge. But a straight board at the ends to give a straight edge for your measurements that you will be making. Take the long clamps and clamp each side of the table to close in the gaps. Take the tape measure and your pencil and measure from the edge of this buddied board 5.5 inches in and over the first gap. Make a mark and do the same thing on this end, over this gap. 5.5 inches in, make your mark. Do the same thing on the other side by using the edges of this board. 5.5 inches in, make a gap over the first, or make a mark over the first gap. Measure the distance from the first mark to the second mark. .44 inches exactly. This will be the measurement of your long boards. So transfer 44 inches to the long boards. And make a mark. Take your carpenter's triangle and make the line to cut. Now that we have the long boards cut to length, we're going to measure 3 inches from the longer edge of the table and make a mark. And we'll also make a second mark on this end. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. 3 inches in. Mark. This is where we're going to line the edge of this longer board up. So line your long board up on all the marks that you have. And now we're going to put pilot holes, 6 pilot holes into the long boards. 1 on each side of the gap. So 1 here and 1 here. And go to the middle, put 1 on this side of the gap, 1 on this side of the gap. And go to the edge and put 1 on this side of the gap, 1 on this side of the gap. When choosing the right size bit for your screw, you'll want to hold the bit on top of the screw, and if the bit covers the shaft completely, but yet you still have the edges of the threads revealed, then you know that that's the right size bit. We'll start with the center. When you're drilling your pilot hole, you want to go all the way through the first piece of wood and just barely into the bottom underneath wood. So we'll start with that. Now we will switch the bit out with the Phillips tip bit. And take the wood screws and screw them into the pilot holes. Alright, and we'll do the same with this side. Now that we have both of the long support boards drilled into place, we're going to make our measurements for the shorter support boards. The measurement I'm choosing is 10 inches in. So I'm going to measure from the straight edge in 10 inches and make a mark. And do the same thing a little further down, make a mark. Same thing on this end, 10 inches. Now that we have the mark for where we want to put our short board, I'm going to measure in between these two to find the length of the short board. 1 foot. I'm going to measure 1 foot from the end on both pieces of the short board. And taking the carpenter's triangle, making the mark for cutting. Now that the shorter support wood is cut to length and put in place, drill 4 pilot holes. 2 of them go on the center wood and 1 on each end. Switch out to the Phillips tip bit and screw in to the pilot holes. Now remove the clamps. And flip your tabletop to reveal the top. If there are any, check and see if there are any screws that had come through to the other side that might need to be filed down. If not, you're done with your tabletop. And that concludes the tutorial. Thank you for watching.